Moscow, a city of power, secrets, and history. But beneath its grandeur lies something far darker, something that refuses to be forgotten. The Kremlin. To most, it is the heart of Russia, a fortress of authority where decisions that shaped the world were made. Its red walls rise with pride, its towers pierce the sky, and its presence commands respect. But when the sun sinks below the horizon and darkness spreads across the ancient stones, the Kremlin changes. It becomes a place of whispers, a place where footsteps echo when no one is there, a place where history refuses to stay buried. For centuries, the Kremlin has witnessed betrayals, executions, torture, and bloodshed. Kings ruled here, enemies were crushed here, and countless souls met their end within these very walls. And perhaps some of them never truly left. People who have walked these grounds at night often speak of an unexplainable heaviness in the air. Guards, historians, and even workers have reported strange occurrences. Cold winds brushing past them in closed corridors, shadows moving against logic, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. But the most chilling stories are not just feelings, they are sightings, real, vivid, terrifying encounters with figures of the past, and it all begins with a tower stained in red.
There is a tower within the Kremlin that carries a history soaked in pain, the Konstantino Eleninskaya Tower. In the 17th century, this place was not just a structure, it was a torture chamber. Men and women were brought here accused of crimes, betrayals, or simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Inside these walls, screams echoed, mercy was non-existent, and death was often the only escape. Today, the tower stands silent, but not entirely. On certain nights, something appears on its ancient walls, a red spot. At first glance, it looks like a stain, but it is not paint, nor rust, nor shadow. Witnesses say it appears suddenly, glowing faintly under dim light, as if something beneath the surface is trying to break through. Some claim it resembles blood, and the most unsettling part? It disappears. No matter how closely it is examined, no matter how many times it is cleaned or studied, the mark vanishes, only to return again. What is it? A trick of the light, or a scar left behind by suffering so intense that even time could not erase it? Visitors who linger too long near the tower often report strange sensations. A sudden drop in temperature, a tightness in the chest, and an overwhelming sense of dread. As if someone or something is still there, watching, waiting, remembering.
If the walls of the Kremlin could speak, they would tell stories of rulers and rebels, of ambition and betrayal, and of spirits that still roam its grounds. One of the most haunting figures seen here is a pale, unkempt woman. She appears near the Komendantskaya Tower. Her face is ghostly white, her hair disheveled, her expression distant yet intense. And in her hands she holds a gun. This is believed to be the spirit of Fanny Kaplan. In 1918, Kaplan attempted to assassinate Vladimir Lenin. She fired her weapon, hoping to change the course of history, but failed. She was captured, interrogated, and executed without mercy. And now, it is said, she still walks. Witnesses describe her as restless, as if trapped in the final moments of her life, replaying them again and again. She does not speak, she does not acknowledge anyone. She simply stands, holding her gun, as if waiting for another chance. But she's not alone. High above, in the Ivan the Great bell tower, another figure has been seen. A tall, imposing presence, a man who once ruled with fear. Ivan the Terrible, the first Tsar of Russia, known for his cruelty and uncontrollable rage, has reportedly been spotted walking the tower that bears his name. Guards have claimed to see a shadowy figure pacing slowly, as if deep in thought, or perhaps regret. And along the Kremlin walls, another ghost wanders, the pretender Dmitri, a man who claimed the throne, who deceived many, and who ultimately met a violent end. His spirit, they say, still walks the perimeter, unable to find peace. He was last seen in August 1991, a time of political turmoil in Russia. A coincidence or a warning? And then there is Ishov, Stalin's feared secret police chief, a man responsible for countless deaths during the Great Purge. After his fall from power, he was executed, but his presence did not vanish. People claim to see him near the Patriarch chambers, where he once lived, walking, pacing, as if still carrying out his duties, as if the past never ended.
If Moscow is the heart of Russia, then St. Petersburg is its soul. A city of beauty, canals and art, but also of tragedy, betrayal and death. Founded by Peter the Great, built on marshland with the labor of thousands, many of whom died during its construction, the city has always carried an air of mystery. And like the Kremlin, it too is haunted. One of the strangest tales comes from Troitskaya Square. Near the modest house of Peter the Great, there is said to be an invisible presence, a small lady. No one sees her, but many feel her. Footsteps are heard where no one walks. Objects shift slightly as if touched by unseen hands, and sometimes a faint whisper drifts through the air. Who is she? No one knows, but her presence is undeniable. Then there is Mikhailovsky Castle, a place of elegance and murder. It was here that Emperor Pavel I was assassinated, strangled in his own chamber by conspirators who wanted him gone. And though his body was removed, his spirit, it seems, never left. Visitors to the castle often report hearing footsteps echoing through empty halls, doors creak open without reason, and in the dead of night, a figure is sometimes seen standing in the shadows, watching, silent, waiting. Is it Pavel, still trapped in the place where he met his end, still reliving his final moments? In St. Petersburg, death is never the end. It is only the beginning.
There are some ghosts that do not just appear, they speak. At the Academy of Arts in St. Petersburg, a chilling voice is said to echo on cold, silent nights. A desperate cry, a man calling out, "It's me, sculptor Kozlovsky. I got wet and frozen in my grave. Open the door." The voice is clear, emotional, filled with pain and urgency. People who have heard it describe an overwhelming sense of sorrow, as if the speaker is truly suffering, truly begging for help. But when they look, there is no one there. Only darkness, only silence, only the lingering echo of a voice that should not exist.
Nearby, at St. Isaac's Cathedral, another spirit lingers. The architect Montferrand, the man who designed the grand cathedral, who dedicated years of his life to its creation and who died shortly after its completion. Some say he knew he would not live long after finishing his masterpiece, and now he remains. Visitors claim to see a figure wandering near the structure, gazing up at it with a mixture of pride and sadness, as if he cannot leave, as if the cathedral is both his greatest achievement and his eternal prison. And then there is Shishiga, a young woman who walks the Lieutenant Schmidt Bridge. She talks endlessly, to strangers, to herself, to anyone who will listen. Her voice is soft but filled with emotion, as if she is trying to share something important, something unresolved. But no matter how long you listen, her story never truly makes sense. Because she is not speaking from the present, she is speaking from the past.
Among all the ghosts of Russia, one stands above the rest. Sofia Perovskaya, a revolutionary, a woman who changed history, and a spirit that refuses to fade. In the late 19th century, Sofia was a member of a revolutionary group determined to overthrow the Tsar. She played a key role in the assassination of Tsar Alexander II. It was her signal, her command, that set the attack in motion. But justice, as history often shows, is unforgiving. She was captured, tried, and sentenced to death. On a cold day in March, she was executed by hanging. And that should have been the end, but it wasn't. On gloomy March days, when the sky is grey and the air feels heavy, something strange happens near the Ekaterinsky Channel. A young woman appears on the bridge. She looks ordinary at first, calm, still, but as you watch, something changes. Her face begins to turn blue, slowly, unnaturally, as if she's being suffocated. A faint mark appears around her neck, a rope, tight, unforgiving, and in her hand she holds a white handkerchief. She raises it, signals, just as she did on the day of the assassination, and then she is gone. No sound, no trace, only the memory of what you just saw. Was it real, or just your imagination? But deep down, you know the answer, because Russia is not just a land of history. It is a land of echoes, of unfinished stories, of souls who cannot move on. And if you ever find yourself walking through the Kremlin or crossing a lonely bridge in St. Petersburg on a cold grey day, listen carefully, because you might hear footsteps behind you. You might feel a presence beside you. And if you turn around, you might not be alone.